We define them as in the relation to a hard drive. So there was a paper in a Linux journal. I don't have the date in front of me. It was about 10 years ago, and it defined the term smart as in smart was what was it? Self-monitoring, analysis and reporting technologies. And we define the city in those terms. So you're not talking about like smart fridge or the term smart, which is bounced around. It's an urban system that can monitor and report itself, and therefore change the way it functions according to that feedback. But I think ultimately it is citizen-led. So I think the smart citizen is probably key to it, rather than the traditional sort of Rio IBM view of whatever means by smart. We're interested in live feeds. So our lab is very urban modelling, GIS, Internet of Things, BIM, location-based work. And in terms of smart, we're interested in the live data feeds which are coming out of cities now, to put into the urban modelling context, to try and predict the next 5 minutes of a city's life. So we're arguably nowhere near smart yet. It's 5-10 years off. But we're looking into sort of real-time urban indicators. This is where the things like the Smart London Plan comes into play. So the Smart London Plan, which we helped with, is about putting the citizen first. So it's about improving people's quality of life. This is key. It's not about monitoring. It's not about watching, which a lot of the smart cities systems are. It's about enabling people to improve their quality of their health by the quantified self type work, to enable them to get on the economic ladder by helping them on sites such as Etsy. So the key people who will benefit most will be the people who make places smart. This is the heart of how London's defining the term. I think it's at a crossroads. There's arguably smart cities out there which are built by the big companies of this world who have sold hardware, sensors, monitoring systems. Rio, define Rio as becoming smart. But I think places will organically become smart. I almost argue that you don't need a plan in place. With all the sensors and all the technology that we carry ourselves in our mobile phones, I think from a city point of view, we just harvest them. So we harvest these feeds. And I think an urban form will naturally and organically become smart. We're beginning to make buildings smart. But because people are putting sensors in their own homes, so people are becoming very aware of the power usage of their own homes via meters linked to your Android device, your iPod, to your device, and live feeds, is that we're increasingly becoming aware of our carbon footprints, and it's ultimately the economic cost factor that makes us wake up and drive the costs down. And from the energy point of view, it's small changes that add up. From a university point of view, we have all sorts of labs. Some people do the smart citizen, some people do the energy feeds. So I really can't comment from a energy point of view, apart from it is sort of London-wide, as I've said in my last answer. There are sensors going into people's homes. So it's almost not a single project. It's just it's a citizen movement of citizens being aware of their energy usage. I think it's a global movement. Rio is different to Lyon, the Chinese cities, Glasgow in the UK, Bristol in the UK, San Francisco. They all have different takes. But I think the smart cities movement is of its time, and it's the smart citizen and the quantified self and the Internet of Me, which is making places smart. So I don't think they need to be changed for each location, because the culture is each place, and each culture will use it in a slightly different way. I think it's very interesting that Rio has taken a very 1984 take. London is probably, as I said, the smart citizen take, but open data feeds, putting data into the public's hands. And that's a growing global movement. People are no longer keeping data behind the scenes. They're beginning to share it, and therefore new companies come up and grow. So I see it as a global thing. I don't see it as a local cultural thing.